Hello, my name is Amy Rice, and this is my final project for Intro to Computational Thinking. In this project, I will be analyzing attendance data for Broadway shows at the Booth Theater in New York City. Some questions that I am looking to answer include, is the attendance for shows at the Booth Theater increasing or decreasing? What is the distribution of attendance over the years, and is there a noticeable trend? And what is the average attendance rate for shows at the Booth Theater? Those who are impacted by this data will be producers who support shows, directors of shows, those who visit the theater, and those who own and rent out the theater. Some of the conflicts are that if a theater is not doing well, shows will get canceled. So if there is a period where the theater has very little attendance, that may indicate the dying popularity of a show. Also, if a theater's attendance is falling consistently, that may indicate the need to make a change in either management or the theater itself. With the data I was given, some limitations arose. These included the years of the data only ranged from 1984 to 2012, so any data before or after these dates are not included. If we wanted to analyze the data in the current year, 2016, for instance, that would require a different set of data. Some shows spanned a couple of years, which made it harder to analyze which shows were more popular. Finally, there was no indication for ticket prices or seats sold, so we cannot examine this factor for attendance. Here we have the data map illustrating what we wanted to access and where we needed to access it from. The data set I wanted to pull from was the Booth Theater information, so I had to narrow down the list of shows to only the Booth dictionary. Within that dictionary, I wanted to compare two things, attendance and year. So I had to dive into the attendance information as well as the year information to get two different integers. Since I'm going to be creating two separate visualizations for the data, I had to start crafting my code by importing plots. Secondly, I had to import all the Broadway information so I had something to look at. Within this Broadway data, I wanted to look at the list of shows specifically for the Booth Theater. So in line 10, I am narrowing my info down to this list of shows that played at the Booth Theater. After that, I had to create two empty lists which I could fill with 1, the list of attendance numbers, and 2, the list of years that shows played. Lines 15 through 18 fill the lists with the numbers that I want. Once I had these numbers, I was ready to create a graph, and I decided to graph in both a scatter plot and a histogram. This scatter plot illustrates the attendance at the Booth Theater per year in the data set given. From this data, we can see that the attendance for individual shows and if there are any discernible trends in the data. From the scatter plot, we can see that there are some outliers, but we can also see that attendance dropped from 1990 to 1995 and has been increasing somewhat since. The biggest dip we can see is that around 2007, there was a number of 0, indicating that either no tickets were sold or purchased for a particular show. The second visualization is the histogram. In this graph, we can see the frequency of attendance. We can clearly see that the highest frequency is between 4,500 and 5,000 people, but also 3,900 to 4,500 people is also a high frequency. As noted in the scatter plot, there are also a few pieces that fall below 1,000 and even reach 0. So after analyzing the graphs and the data set, a few conclusions we can make is that attendance at the Booth Theater has numbers all over the place, but it can be assumed that attendance averages are slowly increasing. Attendance appears to remain constant around 4,500 people while fluctuating higher and lower. For the most part, attendance frequents above 4,000 people. And as mentioned in the scatter plot and confirmed in the histogram, attendance is most frequent between 4,000 and 500 people. Thank you for watching.